Hello everybody and welcome to today's tropical update. And in this video we're going to be talking about Invest 91B here. The models, a few days ago showed this really cranking up into something, spectacular, but those models have since backed off and I'm going to show you those models here very shortly. Alright, here's 91B, 5.6 north, 90.9 east. Maximum sustained winds are at 20 knots or 25 miles per hour. Minimal sensor pressure is at 1,007 millibars. I'm saying 1,007 millibars a lot this year already. Let's see what it looks like here on infrared here. And as you can see, it's a monsoonal mess. As you can see, it's far enough from the equator to start tropical cyclone genesis, but I don't think it's going to do that here before the next day or two. So because this mess just has a whole lot of organizing that needs to be done before it can attempt any type of tropical cyclone genesis. All right, so we're going to take a look at the GEFS tracks in minimal MSLP, and the GEFS does develop this into a tropical cyclone, as you can see here. We see a peak intensity millibars of 992 millibars, but then again, this black line is only the average of all of this cloistered away from each other. There are some indications of some 990s, the 980s, and some 970s too. There's one 970 in here, as you can see from the dark brown, reddish color here, that is indicative of. The GEPS is not as enthusiastic as the GEFS, and that seems to always be the case with a lot of systems. The GEPS is never really on board with a system more than the GFS does. But as you can see, it still develops into a tropical cyclone with a maximum millibars of 996 here. So you do see a little bit of these going into the 990s and 980 range, but it's mostly to 1,000 to 990, which is pretty weak as we go out. All right, so we're going to take a look at 4 models today. We're going to take a look at the CMC first, and obviously we can't get any soundings from this because it just doesn't let you. So here we are, 24 hours out, and this little circle right here, this is where your system is starting to consolidate a little bit. And as you can see, once we get 48 hours out, this is now a tropical cyclone, 998 millibars. And as we go out through time, 72 hours, 993, and this is landfall at 990 millibars. This is 84 hours out, which is a little less than 4 days away. So this area has to pay attention to a tropical cyclone hit here as we go out through time. And as you can see, it just kind of just rains itself out over those regions here. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the GFS here. And this was initialized at 12Z, so this is recent. And as you can see, 24 hours out, this is where it starts to consolidate in some of these islands here. And then we're going to go to 48. And it looks pretty tight. It looks pretty tight from this imagery. And as you can see, we got 9 knots of shear and 93% relative humidity, which is pretty good for strengthening tropical cyclones as we head out through time. Okay, so here's 72 hours out, and it doesn't want to leave these islands whatsoever. So these islands are probably going to see some flooding and rainfall, as this thing looks like it's moving a little bit slowly. 12 knots of shear and 86% relative humidity, which is still pretty good for some intensification. And as you can see, we're going to go 96 hours out, 990. I don't think there's any use looking at soundings, but we're going to do it anyways. 6 knots this year and 79% relative humidity, which is pretty alright. And then it makes landfall probably around the 105-hour mark on that country there. I'm going to have to, look up my topography because I forgot the name of that country. Please forgive me for that. As you can see, it pretty much just goes in, and then it just rains itself out. So we might see some decent rainfall. I'm gonna take a look actually at the total accumulations here for you guys. And as you can see, yeah, it has decent rainfall. We're gonna go to 120. As you can see, it's not as much as say what you see with Madagascar, but some of these islands can pick up 300 to 400 millimeters of rain. And then once it makes landfall into the main country, it's probably going to dump anywhere from 80 to 150 millimeters of rain as we head out through the next 5 days. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the European. And as you can see, the European is not as enthusiastic with this system as, say, the GFS is. So we're going to go here 72 hours out. That's 3 days away. And that's 14 knots a shear and 86% relative humidity, which the relative humidity is pretty good. The knots is moderate, but it's definitely good enough for intensification purposes. And obviously, because we're at 6C model here, we can only go 90 hours out. So we're at 999 millibars. And it's pretty much raining itself out. And, well, not out, but it's still, raining pretty hard on those islands there. We got 14 knots a shear and 82% relative humidity to end this run. So now what we're going to do, we're going to take a look at the total precipitation amounts here. And as you can see, as we go out through time, the islands pick up some pretty decent rainfall, anywhere from 80 to 150 millimeters of rain, but most of the bulk of the heavy rain here stays well west of the islands. So obviously 80 to 150 millimeters of rain is nothing to sneeze at, but the very heavy flooding stuff is going to be offshore here, with some of these ocean areas getting anywhere from 225 to 350 millimeters of rain. So the islands can thank their lucky stars for that one. We don't need any tremendous flooding rains here, and 12Z is about to run. So sadly, I guess we're gonna have to refresh the page here to see if it's acting up, being glitchy. HWRF, and it's gone. Okay, I feel you on that one. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna probably pick up another. We're gonna do some NavGem action here. We gotta change the region here real quick. Sorry about that, guys. I was not expecting the HWRF to just randomly poof like that. So here we are. Here's the NavGem, and as you can see, it does develop it. It does develop it. As we never take a look at the NavGem much often because people don't really use it for tropical cyclone development. Often they do use it, but that's not often. But as you can see, the NavGem does develop the system farther west from the islands, and then it strengthens pretty nicely here in the Bay of Bengal. As you can see, this is a 992 millibar system here, and this is getting close to a Category 1 equivalent cyclone here. So we're just going to have to see how these models pan out as we go out through time. Okay, so here are the C-C surface temperatures, and as you can see in the region of this storm, we have 29s and 30s, west of these islands and near these islands. Excuse me. If it can go east of these islands, it's going to have 30 to 31 degrees waters to mess with. So, here's the thing. Does it go east more and go to more of those favorable waters, or does it trend west and not have as many, as much favorable conditions as it should? That's the key here to how strong the cyclone could get. At this point, none of the models show it becoming a Category 1 equivalent cyclone. The closest approach to that is the GFS and the NavGem. So we're going to have to see which one of these models is going to be the correct ones on the system. So with that being said, I want to thank you guys for watching this short little update today. I just wanted to keep you guys updated for this cyclone because it is going to be affecting land. Tomorrow, I'm going to try to have at least 2 videos out for you guys. Try, keyword there. I'm going to do another update on 91B, and I'm going to do another off-season outlook and discussion for the Atlantic hurricane season. All right. Until then, I want to thank you guys for watching and have a nice day.